Everybody, Andy here again. Well, recently I've been watching the Punk Britannia season on BBC 4. A great season it's been, and they do some great programs and great musical documentaries on there. But it takes you back to all that punk time. It was started off with the pre-punk, the main sort of era, I suppose, and the post-punk stuff, new wave and all that type of thing. But what's happened since then is that you can't turn on the TV without hearing adverts with the backing music. Seems to be those old punk classics that you used to hear. I turned on the other day and happened to catch an advert for British Airways, London Calling by The Clash, and I was thinking, what a great choice of song, and it fits perfectly with the theme of the Olympics and everyone coming over here and BA supplying lots of, aeroplanes and all that type of thing. But I couldn't help thinking, I actually commented to my wife, what on earth is going on here? I can imagine that Joe Strummer must be turning in his grave if he heard something like that. And that's not the only one. I've heard, have you ever fallen in love with someone you shouldn't have fallen in love with by the Buzzcocks? I've heard X-ray specs being used. I can't remember what the adverts were. There you go. Maybe it doesn't work. I'm too busy listening to the music. And having a conversation with a friend of mine, Dave, locally on Twitter today, he happened to post the same sort of thought. What's going on here? Where's all these punk songs coming from? And he'd heard Babylon's Burning by the Ruts, and he questioned, why is this happening? I can think of one reason is that a lot of the bands throughout history just don't have control over their own particular music, songs that they've written. Famously, all the Beatles' early songs, northern songs, I think they were originally, all those, sort of in the mid-60s stuff, was owned by Michael Jackson. He bought them. And I know that Paul McCartney owns most of Buddy Holly's songs. I'm sure he'd be a bit more careful with them. But even so, it does make you wonder about these things, whether that is the case. One common denominator, walking along the seafront here and thinking about this topic before I sort of got the camera out, was some of the people involved with the bands aren't here anymore, unfortunately. Joe Strummer, famously, is sadly no longer around. Malcolm Owen from the Ruts is no longer here. X-Ray Specs, Polystyrene, unfortunately died last year as well. They were the main people, and I think co-songwriters at least, with those particular songs. So that could be something, and maybe a little bit of control goes. But it was one of those, I'm thinking, it's like punk's never happened. What punk was about was tearing down the walls and trying something new and everything coming along. Obviously it produced some great music, otherwise these advertisers wouldn't want to use it. But it does make you question it a little bit. Yes, I know we've moved on 35 years and everything. The world has changed, and maybe all us old punks, I was around at that time, I was in my teens, etc. Maybe we've grown up and we've got mortgages and we've got kids and we're buying cars and holidays and flights and whatever else it is that people are advertising. Maybe they think that they can get our attention, and they have got our attention, as I said, because I'm listening to the music. Can't remember what the products were. But that's a start. So there you go. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? It's like punk's never happened. I'm glad it did, but maybe we need it all over again. Anyway, thanks for your time. I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.